Hey everybody, today is April 18th and I'm getting ready to show you on how I can plant my tomatoes to get an earlier harvest. Our last frost date here isn't for another 12 days or so, but last year we actually had snow on May 4th. It was very short-lived. It actually snowed at 35 degrees, so we were above a frost, but either way, we're gonna go ahead and plant some tomatoes in the ground, and I'm going to show you how I plant them and ensure their survival through the next week or so, 2 weeks, so that you can get an earlier harvest, kind of get a jump start on things. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a milk jug or a water jug. You're going to need your plants, and I go ahead and set my cages. That way I can know my spacing and I can make sure I'm putting the plants in the right spot. So I just put the cage down, I kind of spin it around, and now I know where that plant's going to live. Today I'm planting some big boys and better boys. We're going to get right down to it. Whenever you plant your tomatoes, you want to plant them deep. All these fine hairs on your tomato will eventually turn to roots. So if you just plant it like that, it's going to be tipsy-topsy. It's going to want to break off in the wind. So what I like to do is I like to pinch off those bottom two leaves, and we're actually going to dig down kind of sideways here, and we're going to lay the tomato on the side, and then just on a trench just like that, we're going to lay it on its side, gently bend it upwards, backfill that hole just like that. Okay, so now all those fine fibers are going to act as roots. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a few weeks for those to start to develop into roots, but that's okay. Now, in a couple weeks, I'll come by and pinch that lower leaf off because I'm going to want to keep the soil off of it, but there's not going to be any soil splash immediately, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this jug. I have a knife. Be careful when you're cutting. I'm going to cut around the bottom edge of this water container, milk jug, the 1 gallon plastic container, just like that. Be careful, this razor knife is extremely sharp. You do not want to cut yourself. Okay, if you're just starting a seed, you could lay that over it and use it for seed starting. You want to take the cap off so it can vent. What you're going to do is be careful to not actually go on a leaf. You're going to just want to poke that in the ground about 1/4 inch. I come back around it, put some dirt around it. What that's going to do, it's going to kind of keep it in place. Wind comes through, it's going to keep it. It's also the earth, the ground is always going to be warmer than your air in the early spring. In the summer, it's not really going to be that case, but in the early spring, your ground is going to hold that daytime temperature better. So you're going to kind of make like an earthen dam around it, and that's going to act as a miniature greenhouse. And you're going to want to continue that on down the line. And I would not recommend planting these earlier than 2 weeks prior to your last frost date. If you want to experiment with a couple plants and go a little bit earlier, try it. But in my experience, about 2 weeks is about as early as you can go. There's still a possibility if you have a really cold snap come through and you got in the upper 20s that you would probably lose them even with this coverage. But a tomato plant by itself, it can handle about 34, 35 degrees. We're supposed to be in the very low 40s and upper 30s for our nighttime lows, so we ought to be good as far as that's concerned. But that container right there is going to definitely, significantly increase the temperature around the plant. They say you'll get about a 10-degree difference inside that milk jug as opposed to sitting right here. Not only that, the difference in the temperature, you're going to get the wind protection. Right now it's blowing about 8 or 9 miles an hour sustained, and every once in a while you get about a 15 mile per hour gust. That's really going to help to keep those plants from getting knocked over, getting bent stems, things of that nature. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope you get out and grow your own vegetables, grow your own foods. Today's uncertainty, who knows what's going to happen. Just a good idea to plant your garden, have you a little bit going on in your backyard. It makes you feel good, makes me feel good anyhow. So, well, thanks for tuning in this video. I hope this helps you in any way, shape, or form. If so, consider subscribing to my channel. Have a great day.